Oh, yeah. Got those Christmas vibes, that holiday cheer. And we also got fucking James Gunn coming in and giving everybody cool. He's like, a fuck you, a fuck you, a fuck you. Wow. Wow, wow, we were. Holy shit. You know, I'll say this. The past couple of weeks, at the very least, have not been boring. You know what I mean? Holy shit! Okay, so, if you don't know what's going on, maybe, I mean, like, how many times am I going to say the phrase, the biggest entertainment story that we've had in some while this year? Like, this year has been chock full of insanity. And I think, you know, a lot of this makes sense, given where the industry is at, given where audiences are at, where the world is at. It's a pivotal time, like, literally pivotal, like, motherfuckers pivoting. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. So we're going to get into all that today. It's going to be very much a stream of consciousness, just of all of my thoughts, sort of like spelling out what has happened thus far, what we think will happen next, how these people are all reacting. This is absolute insanity. But of course, I just want to start off by saying thank you for being here in this stream, for supporting this channel. Smash a like if you wouldn't mind on your way into the tower. And I'm excited to go over this, man. It's wild, wild times indeed. Now, real quick, before we get in to all of this DC stuff, and we're gonna be really interactive today. Like, I want to know what you guys are thinking. I want to know where you are at with this, right? Because it's wild. And of course, I love talking business. I love being a little shit stir and being like, oh shit, like this dude said this, that's not true, this guy said that. So look, I'm gonna talk my shit and we're gonna do our thing, of course, but I definitely want to hear from you guys. Now, the other thing that I want to sort of tease out is later today there's a Star Wars video that we're dropping that legitimately has me actually excited about something big that Lucasfilm might be doing. And I'm starting to like see the potential for a master plan of not only what some of the shows will do, but what the movies may well do as well. And I'm like actually excited about Star Wars for a little bit. Now, of course, the other side of this is, of course, a lot of that is fanboy dreaming, excitement, speculation, and you know, given the history of Lucasfilm, it could be that I am misinterpreting some of these things and they don't have anywhere near as cool of a fucking idea as I think they do, and I'll ultimately just be disappointed with what they do. But for now, I hold on to hope and excitement about what I think could be happening with Lucasfilm and what they might be doing. They're introducing some really cool new things. So I want you guys to look out for that video. Before all this DC news happened last night, I was thinking to myself, you know, I'd really like to stream and talk about this Star Wars stuff because I think it's that big of a deal and it's that exciting. But I obviously want to like have the video out there. So I was like, oh man, what do I do? What do I talk about with the stream? I hope some news drops. And oh my fucking goodness, did the news drop? Okay. So mostly what this all has to do with, and it's kind of one big article that is pulling together all of these separate threads, all the way back to Jason Momoa saying on whatever day he did, something really big just happened, Maestro, and then doing the interview, James Gunn doing the Lobo thing, like all the way back to that. A lot of the stuff that Dwayne Johnson's been saying, Henry Cavill's been saying, like, we now have what appears to be a story that helps all of these threads fit together. And it was reported last night by The Hollywood Reporter that Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 is not moving forward as DC movies hit a turning point. This is an exclusive by them, and it shocked the world, dude. It shocked the world. In a 2-day span, Gal Gadot went from tweeting about how she loves the character, loves the fans, and can't wait for the next chapter to, I'm done, that was a good time. Within 2 fucking days. It's insanity, dude. So that's the sort of baseline for like where we're at. But now let me kind of just take you through some of the crazy things that have gone on, and then we'll look at some elements of this article. I mean, we could potentially go over the entire article if you guys want to. I know sometimes we like doing that, sometimes we don't like doing that, but it is crazy. Okay? So, we all know that James Gunn and Peter Safran, now the two leaders of not only DC films and the DCU, but they are envisioning a new way forward, a path forward. Now, when that news broke, we all knew how crazy that was. We did an emergency stream. I think we streamed at like 7 p.m. at night, and we just talked about it, and it was crazy. And what I said then, and it looks like I might be proven to be wrong. Here, I'll put a poll up on whether or not we should go through the whole article. Let me do a poll for that. I may have been wrong, because in that initial stream, what I said was, I thought James would continue the current plan of taking the characters they currently have, the roster that's there now, and moving that towards Flashpoint and then into a Crisis or a Justice League 2 kind of a situation. That's what I thought was going on. A lot of what we're going to go over in this article seems to imply that is definitely not what's going on. And we'll get into it. We'll talk about it, okay? Should we read the whole article? Boom. You guys let me know. I'll ramble a little bit about like the things that I've sort of been noticing and what's been going on. So obviously when James Gunn and Peter Safran took over, we were like, yo, this is really, really crazy. What's the deal? Now, before that was officially announced, there was even an article we went over a week before that had James Gunn and The Rock on the fucking picture for the Hollywood trades. Okay. And we even said then that it's important to keep in mind that Hollywood, the studios, and the trades have like the symbiotic relationship, right? So the Hollywood trades can contact or can be contacted by a studio, and the studio can say, hey, take that down, and they'll take it down. For instance, yesterday, there was a Deadline article that came out where The Rock tried to use, like, I don't even know, like the craziest math you've ever heard of in your life to try to make it seem like that movie was going to turn a profit. They also implied in that article that $7 was creating or starting production on Black Adam 2 and a Hawkman movie. If you go to the Deadline article now, that has been removed because somebody at Warner Brothers reached out to the Hollywood trade and said, yo, motherfucker, take that shit about Black Adam 2 and the fucking Hawkman movie out of your goddamn article. And they probably weren't even as nice as I was just now. So that shit's gone. Okay? So take your mind back all the way to that Tuesday that had James Gunn and The Rock. And why were those images there? And why did that article spell out a struggle for power over DC? Because that's the shit that was happening. At that point, Dwayne Johnson, Garcia, Henry Cavill, all of these people were sort of in one camp, essentially trying to assert control over the DCEU and the future of DC. And James Gunn was secretly being courted to take over all of it. Okay, so you have a ton of conflict right now because I would say, and we'll get into it, and maybe you guys don't feel the same way, but I would say that The Rock's camp and Henry Cavill's camp, and even to a lesser degree Gal Gadot, they all fucked up. They mostly fucked up by being very public with the way they were trying to wield like the audience as a weapon. Like, we're gonna go over some shit, dude. Like, in my opinion, it's a super bad look for Dwayne. It's a super bad look for Henry Cavill. It's a super bad look for Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins. At this point, they all look silly as fuck because none of that shit's gonna happen. None of it. Okay? After Black Adam comes out and has like a decent opening weekend, but honestly, it's not really making money, right? And like, despite whatever MacGyver fucking Vortex Tony Stark math The Rock tries to spit in your face, that shit ain't true. This shit's gonna lose money. They're gonna write it down, tax write down, And though they won't like lose money, Hollywood accounting is notoriously really like fickle and crazy, right? But the point is, that shit ain't making money. It's not a hit. It lost money. It didn't work, right? So after that, the next craziest thing that happened was like James Gunn started sort of teasing that he and Safran were working out this 10-year plan. They were like, okay, we're going to figure out this 10-year plan. We're going to figure out what we want to do. And James even went as far as to say that nobody actually knows what the future holds except for him and Peter Safran. Now, I do want to just say, as a slight aside here, that was a lie at the time. And we know that's a lie because James Gunn contacted Mamoa and told him he would be recast as Lobo. Now, do we know that to 100% certainty? No. But look at the fucking breadcrumb. They literally talk about that in the article we're about to read. That they are hearing from reliable people that Momoa's done with Aquaman after this next sequel, and that he will be cast as Lobo. Well, where's that come from? And how did Mamoa, like, where did all of that buzz come from if James Gunn was truly not telling anybody about his plan? So that's obviously a lie. He told Mamoa, at least told Mamoa, you're going to be Lobo in, I would assume what he said was the new DC or whatever, right? Okay. So while all of that's sort of being etched out, The Rock and Henry Cavill, and to a lesser degree Gal, are out there championing their case to stick around, to be a part of everything, and, you know, all of that. I mean, and bro, like, I rewatched a lot of the Josh Horowitz podcasts that happened like the week that Henry Cavill made that Instagram video. It is painful to go back and rewatch that shit. Like, it's painful, bro. He says some wild shit in there, you know, and at one point, like, he says, like, it's kind of heartbreaking. Like, he talks about how you never really give up hope, and he always thought, like, it's fucking crazy. Go watch that podcast. And Horowitz is like, so, you know, I'd be remiss if people would be mad at me if I didn't ask specifically, are there any plans? Are there a director? Is there a writer? All of these different things, right? And Cavill basically says, I can't share anything with you right now. That's because there was nothing to share. There was nothing to share, dude. Like, and by the way, a lot of people tried to warn y'all motherfuckers about this. Mostly Grace, who I know, right? Grace ran off. Let it out of your system. Let it out of your system. Everybody's Grace, you know, let it out of your system. But also be aware that she tried to warn you that there was no Cavill shit. There was none. Okay? And as all of this is going down, starting yesterday morning, I started hearing weird stuff. I even mentioned some of it on the Nerdvengers stream when we were streaming yesterday for members, where I said it looks like Affleck's not an Aquaman anymore. What do you want? Like, Affleck is not in Aquaman anymore. All of you fucking people that were like, but why is he an Aquaman then if all this other shit, blah, 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 blah. How do you feel now? How do you feel now? He's not in it. Not only that, word started to spread out yesterday that Cavill is going to be removed from the Flash movie. Guys, do you understand that there were people like staking the farm, so to speak, on the idea of now Cavill's going to be in the Flash, therefore everything's saved and he's going to be Superman forever, etc.? Like, guys, that's gone. He's not in the Flash movie anymore. Okay? And in the article that I guess we'll go over here, because 80% of you want to just go into it, Man of Steel 2 is on pause. Like, what? What the fuck? Like, what is happening? All right. Let's, now with all of that said, as far as like my version of like how we got here, let's look at this article. Let's go over the article. Let's do our due diligence, as it were. And this is wild too. And I also want to just say again, and like this is stream of consciousness. I'm going to jump around a lot. I'm very fucking excited, by the way. Like, let me just say this. It's a chaotic moment. I kind of love chaos. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of like chaos, right? This is a chaotic as fuck moment, but also I'm excited. Bottom line, I actually agree with James Gunn. I had said it from a pretty early place that I thought Reboot was the move, mostly because you just separate yourself from all the baggage that has come before. And if we have any, like a lot of you guys, I see it in chat, I see it on Twitter, I see it on Reddit, a lot of you are mad at James Gunn. Guys, you should be mad at Henry Cavill. You should be mad at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You should be mad at the people who misled you and stretched the truth to try and use you to pressure a studio. All the while, James Gunn got the gig and is doing the fucking job. Why are you mad at him? You should be mad at the people that lied to you. Okay? But anyway, let's get into this. Let's read through the article. Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman 3 not moving forward. DC movie hits turning point. New DC studio heads James Gunn and Peter Safran are in the final stages of prepping their multi-year plan ahead of the next week's pivotal presentation of Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav. So here's the other really crazy part of this. They pitch, and by the way, I just saw that we have under 300 likes. Like, am I chopped liver over here? Like, what's going on? I thought we had an arrangement. You know, like you come in and just hit the like button as you come in. Holy shit. My God. Just do me a favor. You, Billy Bob Fuckhead, that never hits like, never does anything. There was a guy in here in chat yesterday, by the way, that was like, I think it's a psyop that Josh is using his polls to try to get likes. It ain't that deep. Shut the fuck up and hit the like button. Okay, moving on. They're going to pitch this to Zaslav next week. So what if Zaslav, like this is just my chaotic mind just going towards like how crazy this shit could get. What if Zaslav just says no? What if they pitch this, they have this huge thing happen, Gal Gadot's like losing her mind on Twitter, and then Zazie just says no next week? Wow, get ready, fireworks. But okay, let's get into this. Call it DC Rebirth or DC Genesis. Maybe call it Identity Crisis or Flashpoint. These titles of past DC comic events series aptly describe the state of Warner Brothers DC movies, which are on the cusp of a new era, but not before a potentially messy transition period. Wow, what a paragraph. I gotta say, that was well written. Who wrote this? Boris? Boris Kitt. Oh, yeah. Nice. Good paragraph, Boris. Hey. Well done. A cleansing of the slate is common when a new executive team is put into place to run a studio or a division, but there is likely little precedent for the amount of Corollax James Gunn and Peter Safran could spray as they prepare to launch DC Studios and guide superhero movies for the next half-decade and beyond. Wow. The duo in recent days flew back. Should I make this larger? Can you guys not read this? Should I make this a little larger? Yeah, let's do this so you guys can actually see it a little bit better. The duo recently, in recent days, flew back to Los Angeles from a snowy city of Aspen, Colorado, where they were huddled in deep planning. And now, like holy figures coming down from the mountaintop, have a set of commandments or a DC Bible in hand, or at least a working blueprint. Bro, that is kind of hype. Like, that's kind of cool. They went to fucking Aspen. Like, they did a retreat. They went to the Aspen and just got away from Hollywood, got away from everything, and just ironed out the DC Bible, which I think we will know more about sooner rather than later. But that's just kind of cool, man. Gunn and Safran are expected to meet next week with David Zaslav, the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO, who is radically reshaping the media company and who hired the duo in October to lead a newly launched film and TV division. The pair will unveil to Zaslav a plan that is expected to lay out their vision. There won't be 4 Batmans, although much of their plan, which insiders paint as still a work in progress and one that has yet to be approved, is being kept in the Batcave. Details of several possible paths forward are trickling out. and at least one path not being taken has also been revealed. Yeah, you can't, like... Yeah, let's just read on. Multiple sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 is not moving forward and is considered dead in its current incarnation. Sources say that Jenkins recently submitted her treatment, co-written with Jeff Johns, Mistake, and that Gunn and Safran, as well as Warner Bros. Pictures co-chairs and co-CEOs DeLuca and Abdi, broke the news to the filmmaker, telling her the project, as it stood, did not fit in with the new, but still unfolding plans. So there's obviously new plans. Whatever Gal wanted to do didn't fit into the plan. Jenkins directed and co-wrote the previous 2 movies starring Gal Gadot, released blah, 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 blah. No decision has been made about the next steps. And while costs are not a factor, insiders say that the DC studios will not have any overabundance some financial restrictions. The studio could end up saving tens of millions of dollars by not making the 3rd installment. Gadot, according to sources, was on track for a $20 million payday for Wonder Woman 3, while Jenkins would have received $12 million. Those figures don't include any possible back-end bonuses. And Warner's had no comment. So, yeah, let's just read on and see if they get to, like, the point here of, like, what actually happened. But I have thoughts. It is unclear how any future Wonder Woman movie and Gadot's portrayal of the hero would fit into the new DC plan. But in a bit of head-scratching timing, Gadot tweeted out of the blue a thank you to fans Tuesday, saying she was grateful to be allowed to play the heroine and role model, adding, "Can't wait to share her next chapter with you." It was unclear whether or not the actress knew the project was being toe-tagged. Okay. Let's talk about a couple of different things. So basically, what this means, and like this is my interpretation of this, but this is that Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns co-wrote Wonder Woman 3. Okay, and they pitched it. They pitched it to Warner Brothers. And now, as of November 2nd, all of that shit goes through James Gunn and Peter Safran. And so James Gunn, Peter Safran, and Abdullah and who are these motherfuckers again? DeLuca and Abdi. I apologize. I know they're big shots. They were also in the corner of James Gunn and Safran here, and they said, look, the way you have this movie won't work. And so essentially, it seems, if you're reading between the lines here, that they were open to Gal and to Patty reworking this movie completely, and Patty Jenkins said, oh, hell no. Now, I do feel for Patty here because, of course, she got her Star Wars movie pretty much canceled. I mean, who knows? Maybe now, because of this, there's a way that they could work that out and figure it out. I highly doubt it. Everything I've heard about that situation says it was bad. Okay? So she loses her Star Wars movie. She's losing Wonder Woman 3. Yeah, it's not a good look. It's not good times for Patty Jenkins. Kind of feel for her. Gal Gadot. I feel for Gal. Her career's in a really bad spot right now as far as like having big hits, where her status is, her cachet or whatever. Not that great, okay? But here's the thing where I sort of lose some sympathy for Gal is the Tuesday tweet. Okay? Let's look at this, dude. Like, I don't know, man. I just personally feel... Here's what she says. A few years ago, it was announced that I was going to play Wonder Woman. I've been so grateful for the opportunity to play such an incredible, iconic character. And more than anything, I'm grateful for you, the fans. Can't wait to share her next chapter with you. Why? Why would you tweet this? This makes it sting even worse. It also makes you look super foolish. And I think... And the interpretation that I see a lot of people taking on this is that she was trying to show to Warner Brothers that the fans love her as Wonder Woman. And essentially this feels like leverage or pressure to get them to basically bend the knee to whatever Patty's and hers and Jeff Johns' vision of Wonder Woman 3 would have been. And again, like this is, to me, I would have just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Because I think the very next day, and let's check her account now. Oh, where's the one where she's like, oh, it was nice to play this role. I guess we're done. Did she delete that one? Because I swear there was another tweet, right? Where she said, I've been grateful to play it, etc., etc. Did she delete that? Or is that like on Instagram or something? Hang on. Chat. Wait. Whoa. Was there another tweet or am I crazy? I swear there was a tweet or something where she came out and basically said, it's over. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe they're both the same tweet. Regardless, so this tweet comes out on Tuesday, and essentially this huge article, seemingly directly aimed at kind of a mess that it seems Gal started herself, comes out in the Hollywood Trade. I mean, they're basically essentially attacking this story, and I just think this is a foolish thing to do. Now, she didn't step in it in the same way that I think James or Dwayne and Henry did, because that shit's fucking sad. But I still think that tweet on Tuesday was kind of a mistake. I'm interested to know what you guys think about this, for sure. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. Okay. Now let's read on. The rest of the DC slate. Are we good here? Are we so good? Did I mess it up here? Okay. The rest of the DC slate remains in flux, or at least is being kept under in a pocket of Gunn's own utility belt. But there are several rumors and possible scenarios to consider ahead of next week's meeting. The first, which builds on the shuttering of Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3, is the closing curtain of the Snyderverse. Pour one out for the Snyderverse and the heroes cast by filmmaker Zack Snyder for his Justice League. This one sees the shutting down of Man of Steel 2 with a returning Henry Cavill and having no more Aquaman fronted by Jason Momoa. These characters are to cameo in The Flash, the highly anticipated time travel adventure movie that is due to release June 16th. Cavill shot his part for the cameo in September, but sources say there is a debate inside the studio as whether or not to keep the cameo, and if its inclusion promises something that the studio would have no plans on delivering. Wow. Sources say there is a debate inside the studio as whether or not to keep the cameo, and if its inclusion promises something that the studio would have no plans on delivering. Oh my God. A Warner's insider cautions that no plans have been finalized and that The Flash remains an unlocked picture. By the way, a lot of stupid butthole insiders, scoopers, and people, like I think Casey Walsh was this guy, kept coming out and saying, like, it's picture locked, and they're not changing it. And he was saying that to sort of ward off Snyder fans that were like, oh shit, bro, like they're changing all this different. It's an unlocked picture, dude. Shut the fuck up. These people. Anyway, the Cavill situation is more than a little thorny as the actor made a cameo in Black Adam, the DC-centric movie released in October. The Monday after the movie opened, Cavill posted a video on Instagram where he announced, I wanted to make it official. I am back as Superman. I have zero problem with him being excited about being back in a cameo. But that's not all he did. He posted an Instagram video, in my opinion, super duper misleading fans into thinking that there was more than this cameo. And again, Grace of Randolph? What the fuck? Grace Randolph, one of the only voices of reason out there in the internet that tried to tell fans there's nothing in the future. It's 2 cameos and there's no contract. There's no Man of Steel 2. There's nothing has been finalized. She tried to tell you guys. And I feel like he went way too far, especially if you watch the Josh Horowitz podcast. Like, I mean, like something like along the lines of like, you know, I'm really excited to be back as Superman. I'm very hopeful that I have a long future with this character in the DCEU, but regardless of all of that, it was great to put the cape and cowl back on, or something like that. You know what I mean? Instead, I truly believe that he and Dwayne and their team really misled audiences. And at the time, he was not incorrect. Warner Bros. Was indeed developing a sequel for 2013's Man of Steel and actively meeting with writers. Okay, so meeting with writers, I mean, I don't know about that. I've heard that they were like open to ideas and putting feelers out there. I feel like this is kind of a generous to what the situation was. But in some way, shape, or form, there was development on what the future for Henry Cavill's Superman could be. So I guess like they're kind of trying to say here that maybe he didn't mislead as much. They're saying like that was not incorrect. I don't know if I feel the same way. Andy Muschietti, who directed The Flash, even expressed interest in sitting behind the camera for something that would have brought a tone similar to the hopeful and heroic colors of the 1978 movie directed by Richard Donner, considered a benchmark in comic book movies. In fact, the current leadership of the team, Warner Brothers, again, DeLuca and Abdi, did desire one more go-around of the Snyderverse heroes, possibly even having another Justice League movie with those actors. Okay, so maybe I was being a little too harsh. And I guess depending on how savvy in the business Henry is, it's possible that he actually did really feel like he was totally back. And it's possible that even people at Warner Brothers were making him feel as though, we're making him feel as though that was the case, okay? But that is no longer the case. Let's read on. But that was before Gunn and Safran began formulating their new and still in flux plan. I don't want to like get stuck on this too much here, but like again, how can you do this? How can you be so confident when you also realize that new leadership is there? There's all these things happening. I don't know. I still feel like they fucked up a little bit. Also unlikely is a sequel to Black Adam. There it is. Despite the hype surrounding the movie of launching a new corner of DC, a lot of it led by star Dwayne Johnson, the movie has only grossed $385 million worldwide, and insiders at the studio say the movie, which cost more than $190 million to produce, two sources actually pegged it at $230, not including marketing, will be lucky to break even. And considering ancillary revenue, that's even considering ancillary revenue. Even if the movie does eke out a minimal profit, any follow-ups inherent rising costs dim the prospect of a sequel. Johnson hoped to carve out his own piece of DC pie, but multiple sources say his planning up of a returning Cavill and his own involvement with DC may not be endearing him to the new management. No shit, dude. You know what I mean? Like, he was literally essentially staging like a DC coup. And the week after his movie came out, it's announced that he didn't get the gig. There's a new boss. And Cavill never commented on it. It was so weird. The whole situation was weird. Johnson and Cavill are both managed by Danny Garcia, who is also Johnson's producing partner. The perception of Adam turning a profit or not is a conflag. What the fuck? And is now being waged in public. So it's like a beef, basically. The Johnson tweeting the movie would net over $50 million after a Variety story told the movie would lose over $50 million theatrically. And again, like, I know I've sort of like ebbed and flowed on The Rock because like I generally don't like The Rock, but I also respect. I mean, he promoted this. I've never seen an actor promote a movie like he did Black Adam, and he did get Cavill back when the studio didn't want him back, and it would appear. There was even some talk of like Man of Steel 2 from Warner Brothers that got everybody excited and everything. I give a lot of credit to The Rock, but like, damn dog, like you turned like victory into calamity because you wouldn't shut the fuck up. And it's so like, it just is a bad look when you're like trying to make this movie look like this big smash hit success. And it's obviously not, you know, like honestly, to the public, who cares if the movie makes $50 million or loses $50 million? It didn't even make $400 million worldwide. Like, it's not a hit, dude. You know? And I feel like his literal borderline derangement of like trying to act like it was good and they're gonna make a fucking Hawkman movie and I can't wait for Black Adam 2. Like, you look silly, dude. Mamoa, meanwhile, could emerge as a pivotal figure in the new plans, according to several news sources. In one scenario, the actor would wrap up his days as underwater hero Arthur Curry with Lost City due out December 25th, 2023, which would be the final movie release that was made by the previous regime. But it would not spell the end of the actor's involvement with DC, with sources saying the actor would lead another movie or franchise The character of Lobo, a foul-mouthed, cigar-chomping, intergalactic bounty hunter, has been mentioned in connection with Mamoa. Holy shit. Again, that's so crazy. And also sort of speaks to where DC is currently at, where the dude that's fucking Aquaman gets the call to basically say, oh, you're not going to be Aquaman anymore. You're going to be Lobo. And he's psyched. Like, think about that. That's a $1 billion movie. That's the highest grossing DC movie. And this dude was excited to not be playing that character anymore. And he was hyped to be Lobo. That speaks volumes of where Warner Brothers is currently at, dude. Are you kidding me? Wild shit. Whether or not Mamoa does play everybody's favorite Bastage, Lobo emerging as a rising character early on in this conversation may point to the kinds of characters that GUNN Safran team may be focusing on. The character is an outsider, an anti-hero, and is keeping in line with GUNN's speciality of taking the offbeat and quirky and flipping it into crowd-pleasing fare. I agree with that. Yo, real quick, and again, we're going to get, I want to know so much about what you guys think, okay? We're going to get into that. I'm going to look at chat. We're going to do all that, okay? But real quick, just tell me, just at a base level, Mamoa Lobo, are you hyped? Like, are you hyped about Mamoa Lobo? Because I'm legitimately more excited for that than anything DC currently has going on, and that includes the Flash movie. Yeah, dude. And it's a project that and a character that I think a lot of normies don't really like know about, but he's awesome and also perfect casting and is such a fun character to do some crazy DC stuff. By the way, I have a wild ass thing that I think they should do for DC, and maybe we'll get to that later. But regardless, crazy, okay? Blah, 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 blah. Part of the plan could entail a truly fresh start and having no baggage from any previous regimes as they set about resetting how DC movies and shows are made. That, however, does not take into account the possible success of movies such as Shazam. The success of Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Okay. Blue Beetle. I mean, look, I got a love for Blue Beetle. That movie ain't making no fucking money, dude. Would that plan include forging ahead without the actors who inhibit those characters and recast them, even if the movies prove to be a box office hits? Box office hits. Oh my God. Box office hits. We got fucking box office hits on the way, DC. Oh shit. I can't believe it. Can't believe they're gonna reboot. They got the next Shazam movie. They got the Flash movie starring everyone's least favorite human being on the planet. Probably still hated more than Kanye fucking West. God, can't wait for that one. And then what's the other one? Blue Beetle? Killing it over there, guys. Killing it. One part that the GUNN Safran agenda seems likely not to touch, at least for now, is Matt Reeves' Batman universe, which Robert Pattinson dons the cowl of the Caped Crusader. Reeves is writing a sequel to The Batman, which opened March 4th. The filmmaker is also overseeing the launch of 2 Batman series spin-off, including The Penguin. Okay. Let me... okay, we got to get into polls. We got to have a fucking discussion about this. This is crazy. First question. Do you think the Batman 2 will happen? You think it's going to happen, dude? And while you vote, let's watch this. Let's watch this. This is from IGN, by the way.
I'm looking very forward to meeting him. And he's clearly a very, very talented man. And I cannot wait to sit down and have long, long conversations with him. I'm very excited about him being there and very excited about any future opportunities we can work together.
You were right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short. All right, let's see what else he says.
It is a gift. To be giving is a gift because it makes people feel a certain way, and it also makes them want to be giving in return to other people.
Talk about Christmas.
It's that there's just something so magnificent about that, and of course, then that's a very broad stroke piece. But once you get into the nitty-gritty details of that, and once you start applying that to storytelling and to all the wonderful, exciting villains that he may come across, then you have a world of adventure and a world where an audience leaves the cinema feeling fantastic.
As for when we'll see Cavill on the big screen.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. Again, you watch that. I mean, go watch the Josh Horowitz podcast. Like, it's heartbreaking. And it's not just that he's doing all this and like talking out of pocket, in my opinion, but he also literally left The Witcher. You know? Like, this dude literally was like, I'm Superman again. I'm a fucking movie star. Shut your mouth, Witcher people. I'm out of here. Wow. Wow. Pretty crazy, dude. Pretty crazy. Okay. Oh, it's tough, dude. It is literally tough. Like, so Grace was right about Cavill all along. Yeah. Yeah, she fucking was. I know it's like hard for everyone to believe and, you know, but it's crazy. Pretty crazy. So, new plan's going to be pitched next week. Wonder Woman 3. Nope. Man of Steel 2. Nope. Or at least it's on pause. Aquaman 2, the last time that Jason Momoa plays the character, but now he's Lobo and he's psyched. You know, Cavill being removed from The Flash. Affleck being removed from Aquaman 2. I mean, we don't know for sure that it's going to be a reboot. But in my opinion, what other conclusion can you come to? What other conclusion can you come to? Like, I've heard a lot of people with the take that, and by the way, Keaton's not in Aquaman 2 either now. No Batman at all, bro. You know what I mean? I think if you just read between the lines here, it's obvious that they're doing a reboot. That's my opinion. I 100% think that they're doing a reboot. Now, the one thing that I think I'm curious about, and I want to know what you guys think about this, but will James Gunn also kill his own babies in order to make this happen? Or is this going to be like literally one of the most ridiculous, selfish things you've ever seen, where he will build out of Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, and he'll try to like keep Margot Robbie and like all this shit? Like, are we doing business here, or are we just fucking around, dude? Because if you're going to reboot, if you're literally going to crush the hopes of Henry Cavill's Superman at a time when everyone was so excited for him to come back to the role of Superman, if you're going to stomp on some dicks, you better stomp on your own. Like, I don't think it plays. I don't think it works if this dude cancels all this shit, blows it all up, right? And then he's going to keep all of his toys? What? I mean, first of all, Peacemaker, I know people like Peacemaker, but it's a lot like Andor. Nobody watched it. Nobody watched that fucking shit. It has like lower viewer numbers than Miss Marvel. Okay? The Suicide Squad literally bombed, dude. Like, it's one of the biggest bombs DC has ever had. So please, for the love of all things holy, kill your own babies, James Gunn. The shit ain't it. And I think he will. I think he will. And I respect it. Because holy shit, if he doesn't, I just don't know, bro. I feel like the fans are already like, oh, James Gunn, you know? Like today, in the morning, multiple things trending. Hashtag bring Zack Snyder back. Oh, you poor, sad motherfuckers. And then hashtag fire James Gunn. Oh my God, bro. Like, that's what's trending today. You know? So it just kind of like puts it into perspective of like where we're at with DC and how crazy things have been. And again, I really do blame The Rock. I do blame Henry Cavill. If this stuff doesn't happen and a lot of fans are really, really upset, I think it's their fault. And we're just going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. And I know like a lot of you guys, like, here's the thing. We've been all over the place with this because DC's been all over the place with this. We've been talking about all these little things, all these details, everything that's going on. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, what is actually happening? The other part of this that's really crazy is that, you know, James Gunn's out here saying nobody but me and Saffron know. Obviously, that's not true because he told Mamoa. But beyond that, now the trades are getting in on it. Gal Gadot, like everybody. Bro, we know. So how do the movies next year, how do those movies become profitable? How are they going to stand behind The Flash, Shazam, Blue Beetle? Is there another movie I'm missing? Another DC movie that I'm missing next year? Or that's just the three, right? Am I missing one? Those are the big ones, right? Chat, help me out. Am I missing one? Yeah. Yeah, Aquaman. No, I said that. Aquaman, HBO Green Lantern. Oh, that shit's gone. That was gone a while ago. At least in my opinion, I think that shit's gone. Yeah, how are they going to stand behind these movies? And the other thing that's crazy about this is Zaslav has been talking out of both sides of his mouth and trying to wave fucking keys in front of us and in front of Wall Street for months. And none of that shit's working. The stock price is in the absolute shitter. Right? So I'm going to say something kind of fucking crazy. But I actually see a world in which they don't release these movies, especially The Flash. Yeah. We're going back to this reality. We're going back to this timeline, dude. Where I don't see how they do it. Because they could just write them down or write them off as massive losses, you know? Oh, okay. So yeah, it's Shazam, Black Adam, or rather Shazam, The Flash, and Aquaman 2. Those are the ones. Okay. Right. So those are the big heavy hitters. And I'm sorry, I literally don't know how you create hype and excitement and, you know, especially because they're literally removing all of the fun stuff, right? Like, people were like, oh, dude, Ben Affleck, Batman and Aquaman, like, that's hyped. And a lot of people were maybe going to check that out because of what it maybe meant. It doesn't mean shit, right? That dude's not even Aquaman anymore, bro. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? So I don't see how any of these movies become profitable, hyped up. I mean, maybe they'll just kind of accept that they'll perform at like a Black Adam level. And then they just write down the losses. I'm not sure. But like, regardless, it really doesn't feel like there's any hype or excitement around these movies now. Right? I mean, unless something comes out and it's like, oh no, like it's not a total reboot, like shit's gonna happen or whatever. I don't know, but again, the impression I'm getting is like that's not really that's not on the table. On the flip side of that is the idea of what the new DCU could be like. And I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm so excited about a reboot of DC. I think it's the right move. Get rid of all the baggage. Fuck all of that. New Superman, new Batman, new Wonder Woman, new everybody, and a whole new universe. They could recapture some of that early Marvel phase 1, 2, and 3 vibes at a time when Marvel is kind of disappointing some people. So it's like perfect sort of counter programming to what's going on at Marvel. Getting back to the basics, Zaslav's obsessed with Superman. He wants the heavy hitters. James Gunn, who has been often relegated to side characters and weird, obscure teams, he's always had a love of the actual bigwigs. I mean, he literally wanted to bring the Justice League into both his Suicide Squad movie and into Peacemaker, and he kind of did with Peacemaker. And the other side of this is like, you got to think about Safran. Safran's a producer. There has to be some kind of business operating logic that will drive the decisions of what they do in the future. You know what I mean? So like, you can't launch a cinematic universe like on the back of Lobo. I just don't think that works. Could you integrate Lobo into some really cool DC stories that ultimately give you the Trinity and some of the big characters? Yes. And that would be sick. And I think that you gotta assume that they understand that. Like, for God's sakes, hopefully they understand that. And so I think that despite this being very tumultuous, but despite maybe next year being literally a lame duck year for DC, like, who gives a shit about all those movies? I still think this is the best way forward. I still think they've made the right call if they are going to do the reboot. And having said that, we don't know for sure. You know, they're pitching it next week. I assume stuff will leak out. But then James said something about wanting to tell us, the fans, sooner rather than later. So, wow. What a wild roller coaster ride of emotion that we have been on as fans of DC. Is there anything I missed? Is there anything else going on that we need to know about? Or should we just get into Q&A and talk about different things? Wow, wee wah. Wow, wee wah. Okay. It's so fucking crazy. Holy shit. Hey, at least it's not boring, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at least it's not boring. My God. I said yesterday, too, I think The Rock is going to have the best workout of his life. You know, I've seen on Instagram and stuff sometimes where he's like, oh, I had a really hard day. Had to work out some of my demons in the gym. You know what I mean? Holy shit. This dude's going to go have the best series of workouts he's ever had. Like pictures of James Gunn face all over the Iron Paradise. Just extra doses of whatever gear he's on, you know? Take it to the gills. Holy shit. Wild world. Okay, let's get into the Q&A. Let's chat. We'll go over the super chats, the member chats, and then I'll hang in chat and talk to you all about this craziness. Maybe there's some things you'll bring up that I'm not aware of. Maybe there's some pushback in some of the takes I have. Let's get into it. Orange Grove 55 with a $5 holler says, has the cancel mob ever come for you for being friends with Theory and being civil with some fandom menacers? The mob is exhausting in my humble opinion. A little bit, but honestly, like, you know, depending on the person, if they're really bad faith and they're just like a butthole, like, I just mute them, so I don't really see it. And as far as like my community or my content, no, because, and this is the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand, and maybe the thing that even a lot of people in Hollywood don't understand, it's that most people are actually pretty reasonable and really kind of in the middle on a lot of these things. And so there's very vocal people that all find each other due to the wonderful thing called social media. And it may seem like That's a big group of people. And it may seem like they all are mad. But the reality is, like, it just cannot be the case that so many people are that butthurt about these different things. And most people kind of see it for what it is, and therefore are not actually that triggered or upset. You know what I mean? Matic, member for 4 months, says, yes. Scott Owen says with a $5 holla. All I know is Gunn hinted at Kingdom Come Superman. Love the comic. And Jason Momoa as Lobo is the word. Yeah, Kingdom Come could be really interesting. I would have loved to see it like with Cavill and with some of these other people for sure. But Kingdom Come is a really cool story. It also sort of speaks to like where society's at a little bit. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think that could be really cool if done correctly. Donnie Snooks says, I'm a Nerdvenger now. Well, Donnie, welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now. Masma says, personally, I think DC needs to do this to get people back. Hashtag Team Gunn. I'm hyped because I love Gunn more than any other people who shot their DC shot. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. I tend to agree. I think this will bring a lot of people back. I know that the current DC fan base will fight and get mad and be angry about this. And I saw a lot of people saying like, oh man, this is just exhausting. I'm out if the reboots or rumors are true. Like, you know, those sort of ideas. And to those people, I would say, I understand. I do. Like, it's been crazy. Like, nobody could sit here and deny or try to gaslight you. Bro, yeah, shit's been crazy. It's been ridiculous. It's like we're in, we're out, we're doing this, we're not doing this. It sucks. So I understand being exhausted. But I would also say that if it is going to be a reboot, it's a reboot because it's exhausting. And we need to just get rid of all of that and set our sights on the future. So the same thing you're upset about is actually the reason the reboot is a good idea. Scott Owen says, DC reboot, Marvel reworking phase 5 and 6, crazy times. Oh yeah, and wait till you get into the Star Wars stuff. Dude, we are at such a pivotal time right now for this content. It's very crazy. Brandon DeLumpa says, bruh, it's pronounced Gadot. Thanks. Jimmy Bone says, talking about misleading a room, neither Zaslav nor Gunn seem like that dude you try to muscle in public. Yeah. I would agree with that. I said yesterday, I was like, dude, you got to admit, James Gunn has some balls. And this is ballsy, bro. This is ballsy. Everybody was wondering, who's going to be the person to finally put the final nail in the coffin of Zack Snyder's DCU? Because nobody wanted to do it. And that's part of why we're in the predicament we're currently in. Nobody actually wanted, like everybody, or I should say this, from what I understand, a lot of people at Warner Brothers wanted to kill it completely. But nobody had the balls to get out there and be the one that puts that final nail in. Because they just had an experience with the Snyder Cut and they knew what the Snyder fans would say and do and all of that. And I'll just tell you, again, even among the Snyder fans, you will have those very vocal people that are going to be crazy. But most Snyder fans, like, I'm a massive Snyder fan. I gave up hope on him coming back to DC a long time ago. I'm excited for Rebel Moon, but I'm excited for James Gunn's DCU as well. Fuck it, bro. Let's reboot it. Sajid says, I'm with these changes. Let's get something fresh. Hopefully, they keep Henry, though. We need his Superman. I wouldn't mind Batfleck returning too. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I just think everything we're looking at here, like all the evidence suggests, no. It's over. Which is so crazy for Cavill especially, but we'll see. Dan the Man, with a $10 holla, very generous, man, says, at last, there is hope after all. Couldn't stand DC's hit or miss uncertainty direction for years. This reset is long overdue in my opinion. Hope Gunn and Peter watched Super Frames How to Make a Good Justice League video. I've never seen that video, but maybe we'll put it on the list for next week. That sounds dope. And yeah, we're much in agreement on this, Dan. Like, this should have been done a while ago. MacDem says, if he keeps Margot Robbie, etc., and gets rid of everything else, I'll be insulted enough to skip the first new movies. I can't blame you. That would really feel like a slap in the balls. Like, that's crazy town. So, I'm sorry, James. I do feel as though you need to kill your babies. Oh, shit. Let's see here. Vito says, what about Constantine? I think the bottom line here is, bro, nothing is safe. Anything that doesn't directly come out from Gunn and Safran is probably on the chopping block. And one of the biggest things that Zaslav has signaled and that James Gunn has signaled is that it's going to be a shared and connected universe. And there's not going to be these other things. And so that's why, like, a lot of people are like, oh, the Batman's going to be fine, etc., etc. I mean, who could honestly be confident about that? Zaslav literally came out and said, there's not going to be 4 Batman. You think he meant there might be 2? I don't see anything not James Gunn and Safran happening. That's the whole idea of doing an MCU. So the Constantine movie, yes, it was in production. Yes, they probably signed stuff. No, I don't think it's still happening. But we'll see. I mean, at this point, expect the unexpected with these people. Jarrett says, if they do Reboot, have Keaton come back as Batman, do Batman Beyond, and we watch Terry grow up and start a young Justice League in the Broken Universe. That's a really cool idea, but that's not what they're going to do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's no way that they want to reboot the DCU and have us old as fuck Batman that can't be Batman anymore. Bro, that's not logical. No. Like, that just doesn't track with what evidence we have of what the actual plan is. Joe says, where would you rank non-canon Clone Wars from 2003? I do not think you included it in your rankings last week. Oh, it's very high. Very high. I'd say A tier. It's great content. Dan Flashes says, do you think the days of The Rock as a leading franchise man are ending? He couldn't sell a superhero movie. I think this whole experience will hurt Dwayne. I don't know how badly, because, you know, look, he's got the XFL stuff, you know, he's got a lot of ways to leverage his massive audience, and a lot of people still really love The Rock. But as far as his trajectory in Hollywood, you have to assume this is going to hurt him. Not only did he have a bomb, he tried to act like it wasn't a bomb, tried to act like he was going to have some say over the future of DC. It's just a really bad look, dude. On top of that, he's pissing off executives. He's pissing off fans. He's pissing off executives. He's pissing off people in Hollywood. That's not a formula for success. So I don't know how much we're like. He's not going to like lose all his Instagram followers. He's not going to lose his tequila company or whatever. The Rock will be fine. Don't worry about The Rock. But as far as his trajectory in Hollywood, you'd have to assume this hurts him. Probably badly. Exposeri says, Rock strikes me as that guy, uninvited, who lurks around Gunn during the creative meetings and tries to put his input. I hope Gunn tells him the hierarchy of power in the DC is about to change. I know, right? Like, dude, you literally you played yourself. You created all the memes. You're going to be memed into oblivion now because of your own big, stupid mouth. Yes, that's on you. Wow. Leonard says, member for 27 months, says, find it hilarious. Mamoa is the only current Justice League actor let in on the joke. Everybody's gone except for him. I know, right? Well, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. We don't know for sure. Maybe some of them are coming back. But yeah, dude. I think the funniest part of the whole thing is that the guy who's starring in the franchise that had the biggest grossing movie of the history of the franchise was hyped to be not that guy and to be fucking Lobo instead. Like, again, I think that speaks volumes to like where DC is at. Sozin's comment with the $10 holla says, you want DC to do a reboot instead of trying to figure out the mess, but you think the opposite about Star Wars and the sequels. Why do you feel like one brand should go one way and vice versa? Nerd Adventures for Life. So it's a great question. It's because they're different brands. They're totally different, right? So you can't apply the same logic Now, if Star Wars just continues to just fuck up for like 5 to 10 years, you could take some of the logic of like a reboot and apply it. But the problem is this. They integrated their sequel trilogy into George's stuff. You can't actually just remove this without devaluing everything that came before. So not only do I not think a reboot would work for Star Wars, but let me say this for the 1 millionth time. That will never happen. They will never reboot the sequels. All the evidence suggests they're actually going to double down on it, which is something I talked about on Monday. They're never going to do that, right? DC has already had different iterations. There have already been different Superman. There have already been different worlds, universes, takes on these characters. And it's a comic book thing. You've never had, other than the EU, which really was always kind of like this ancillary thing. You know, George liked some of it. You've never had that with Star Wars. Right? So, totally different franchises. So, therefore, totally different rules, in my opinion. Vandolph the Black with a $10 holler says, I disagree, bro. Lobo will show off Gunn's best work because he is wild. Mamoa is perfect casting for Lobo like Downey was for Iron Man. R-rated hero that beat up Santa? DC reboot all in! I hear you. But I'm not saying the movie won't slap. I'm super excited for the movie. What I'm saying is you can't launch a franchise off that. Like, I would be shocked if a Lobo movie, even as dope as I'm imagining it and you're imagining it to be, because like, dude, imagine Guardians of the Galaxy meets Suicide Squad with Lobo. Boner. Like, that's awesome. But how do you sell that to mainstream audiences, bro? Like, I don't think that works. You need Batman, you need Superman, you need Wonder Woman, you need big DC heavy hitters. I don't think you can launch a franchise out of Lobo. Tubular Tommy says, need Battinson to separate from DCU. Thoughts? Look, as much shit as I talk on the Batman movie, I was excited to see more. I do think that there's interesting ideas at play there, but I don't know how to square what that is with what DC wants to be. How do you square that? Oh, we're all one unified universe except Matt Reeves and all his toys. What? Why? You know what I mean? Like, how do you square that? I don't see how you do. I don't get it, man. You know? Dirt Wizard with a $10 holla says, great show, my dude. Scrap the Flash actor, redo it with a new Flash, and start the new DCU that way. Skip the origin stories. The end of Flash could intro new actors for some main characters. Yeah, I agree with you, and that's obviously been something I think Warner Brothers has been interested in for a long, long time. But, you know, like, it's as easy as saying, this is the new DCU. Here's our 10-year plan. Here's the first couple of movies. I mean, that creates its own hype. You know what I mean? It's that simple. So, but I appreciate the support. A Butta 821 says, if they reboot the DCU, please make Wonder Woman a true Amazon. Gadot is cute. It's actually pronounced Gadot. Is cute, but Wonder Woman needs to be Amazonian like Carano. I agree with you. Bro, 100%. Like, I really like the first Wonder Woman movie. It is seminal. I think it's incredible. But Wonder Woman 84 was such a bag of turds. It was such a bag of turds, dude. And I also agree with this sentiment of her being too pretty and skinny and dainty. Like, hell nah, dude. Like, make her an Amazonian, 100%. Isn't it weird, like, when you watch the Snyder Cut, okay, and you see the Amazons, and a lot of them are jacked, and they're hitting those fucking crazy hammers, and they're crushing down the walls and all this shit, and you're looking at all these Amazons, and you're like, damn, like, dude, these are some beefcake ladies here, you know what I mean? And then you look over at Gal. Like, did no one ever think, like, where's the rationale there? Like, we're going to have all the Amazons be fucking jacked to the kills. Except Wonder Woman. What? I agree. Brandon DeLumpa says, say Gadot or I'm unsubbing. Oh, bro, you're the one that's saying it wrong. It's pronounced Gadot. Everybody knows that, except for you, Brandon, for some reason. RG2088 with a $10 holo says, I think they will establish a new universe, but keep Snyderverse as well. Oh, Jesus. And slowly phase it out. Oh, Jesus. Let the characters have a farewell big event movie. Oh, Jesus. They can be many other Earths after all. So, why do you think that? Like, you think this, and that's cool. Like, it's fine. Like, you can have your thoughts. You can have your takes, of course. Just want to fill me in on why? Like, where is the evidence or what piece of information like makes you go down that train of thinking? Like, could you explain why you think that? Peacemaker? The show that was less viewed than Miss Marvel? The Peacemaker show, which was created before any of this shit happened. The homie says, I just want to see cool shit. Nerd Vengers for life. Hey, there's the take. That's the take. I agree. Etoski says, got an A in my programming class, and he doesn't give A's. Thanks for all the stress relief this semester, Josh. I needed it. Thanks for the $10 holla, man. Good job. Good job. Michael Dixon says, why can't we get the animated stories in movies? Oh, I think you could. I think you could. Darth Reboot says, new Willow series is an absolute dumpster fire. Another fail for Lucasfilm. Yeah, I can't imagine that show's getting views. And I think it is getting a fair bit amount of hate. And I just wonder, at what point will fucking reality come into the picture over at Lucasfilm? And I'm not trying to be too harsh here, but like, as a studio that is in control of one of the most beloved IP of all time, an IP that was purchased for $4 billion, at what point does the reality of making things people want to watch, of creating product people want to consume, at what point does fucking reality fucking, like, oh my God. I don't know how much money you spent on Willow. It was too much. It was a mistake. What the fuck are you doing, Lucasfilm? Holy shit. Brendan says, do you like Gadot nuts? What? You mean Gadot nuts? They're great. I am a fan of Gadot nuts. You know? Jeez. Okay, anyway. Let's hang out in the chat. I don't want to be too harsh. I know, right? Okay, anyways, let's get into the chat. Let's see what you guys got to say. What's going on? What are your thoughts? What are your, what's your feedback? What are the things you're mad about? What are the things you like? Jaren says, Santa Josh! Yes, I am Santa Josh. Let the hate flow through you. Gal, a murderer confirmed. Well, maybe of careers. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney is messing up Star Wars on purpose to destroy its legacy at this point. I mean, look, dude, Vito, remember when me and Theory beefed about this? Me and Theory almost had a damn knockout, drag-out fight live on air because I was like, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. It becomes more likely, like, every day. Like, I look at what they're doing. Now, granted, I do have something I'm really excited that Star Wars could be doing. There is hope. I have a video literally coming out. It's like, this could save Star Wars, and it's not hyperbole. I actually think it could. But you look at what they're doing, bro, and it's like, are you guys trying to fuck this up? Because I don't even know if you'd be this successful if you were trying to fuck it up. That's why it's crazy, Also, Angel with numbers and stuff. You are a Nerd Venger now. Welcome to the Nerd Vengers. Welcome! How is there literally nobody at Lucasfilm that can read the room? Bunch of boomers, a bunch of people that are deranged, that have been totally corrupted and co-opted by the culture war. They're literally so butthurt about, stuff like that their brains are broken. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. The outside looking in, it's like ineptitude, a bunch of boomers, and brain dead culture war warriors. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Sorry, that's what it is. Because the Force is female. Oh, yes, and that. Yeah. Hold on now. Boomers? Wouldn't boomers actually be the ones more apt to like the OT over the current Star Wars? Oh, yeah, they love the OT, bro. They love the OT. But when I say boomer, like what I mean is like they have an inability to actually, like he was asking about reading the room. They can't read the room because they don't know how to even view Twitter, Reddit, and all these things, right? That's what I mean about being a boomer. Josh, what would you do with DC? I'm so glad you asked, motherfucker. Okay, this is what I think they should do with DC. They should reboot. They should have a new Justice League that's already established. Don't like try to create the Justice League like a new 52. Just boom, we're here. Justice League, it exists. And then I think this is the story they should do. And I think this shit would be so cool, bro. There was a crazy story that Grant Morrison wrote in the 90s for the Justice League called Mageddon. Has anybody in here read that run? It was after No Man's Land, and it was the Justice League, and the villain was a thing called Mageddon. Anybody ever read that? What? Lennox, you don't know what? No! You don't say that! He said, yes, it's kind of trash. You didn't even read it. You don't even know what it's about. You got it? Yeah. Okay, here's what it is. Here's what Mageddon is, and it's fucking awesome. Mageddon is Brandon. Mageddon is this entity out there. It's almost like this big comet or like a moon. Okay? And as it gets closer, it activates the reptilian part of the brain of organisms, and it makes them become more and more savage, unhinged, and try to destroy each other. Okay? And so, like, as this thing's coming through the universe, there are all these different, places, people, and things, and people on Earth that are starting to go crazy and want to, like, kill each other and stuff like that. It was bizarre, but it was really fun. So that's what I would do. Like, because then you have, like, characters going crazy, heroes fighting heroes, big guns getting corrupted, so many fun things. Tower of Babel would be cool, too. There's so many great DC stories. I mean, even Kingdom Come itself is a really fun idea, and I think that could play. Gentleman's Bet. Lobo bigger than Deadpool? You in? Are you talking about the first Deadpool movie? Yeah, I'll take that bet. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That sounds trash. Hey, you don't say that, Flea Boy. Go read the run. You'll know why it's so cool. DC should have made movies with the CW characters when it was actually good. I mean, that would have been interesting, yeah. I like Pattinson. Yeah, he's not bad. No, Lennox. No. Do you think Gunn will attempt Crisis on Infinite Earths? Maybe, but I don't think that's really what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to create a new DC universe that, like, literally mimics all of the, like, value propositions that the MCU creates. Because, like, at this point, the MCU is creating a lot of stuff that's mid, and it's dominating DC because of the brand, because of the connection of the connective tissue, and because of, like, that world. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, that's what they're chasing. Do Just build out of Pattinson's universe. But the problem with that is that Pattinson's universe doesn't represent what Warner Brothers wants for the actual Batman character. Like, they made him change that movie because they said it was too dark. How are we going to sell fucking toys when you're basically telling everybody this dude's mentally ill? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a fun time. So, like, it's cool from a cinematic perspective. From the perspective of a studio that's looking over at Marvel, hell nah. That ain't it, bro. Like, the Pattinson universe is not it. Not for what they want. Do you think Henry Cavill will return for Crisis in 10 years? What? I mean, sure. Yes. What type of Superman do you want to see? Personally, I want to see a Boy Scout, but done right. Yeah, I think that's what they'll do. They'll do a more traditional Boy Scout version of Superman, yeah. MG says DC Comics rebooted again, so might well do the film universe. That's actually a great point. They're doing a big old reboot next year, from what we hear. So, the Batman cool theater movie for sure. Rewatch value not really there. I agree. Could they cast Kanye as the new character if they want to get attention? Absolutely. It was clear in early adaptations of the character, and he will develop over time. It was clearly in early... I mean, I don't disagree with you. I like Man of Steel. I like Zack Snyder's stuff, you know? Oh, wait, no, you're talking about the Batman. Yeah, it's an early iteration. That's fair. It's like second or first year. Tubular Tammy says storytelling is now taking a backseat to selling toys. Kind of always has. You know, this isn't fucking new. Why do you think the Ewoks are in the third Star Wars movie? So, commercial art, it's always a balance, man. People will call Boy Scout Superman movie woke. Yeah, maybe. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Shit's just got to be good. That's it. I feel some way if Reeve and Gunn keep their toys. Yeah, same. Same. General Grievous was literally designed to sell toys. Yeah. No shit. You know? And to be honest with you, like, I want characters that are so cool that I want to get the toys. Like, what are we doing here? You know, like, what? You guys don't like fun? You don't like fun? Like, what are we doing here? Man, this community is great, and Josh is so inclusive. Yeah. Am I so inclusive? Yo, just got here so you can restart from the top and go over everything again. Damn it, Fernie! Damn it, Fernie! Lego build live stream with Josh and IPAs? I mean, that kind of sounds fun, minus the Legos. People need fun and inspiration. Agreed. Go over everything? Oh, yeah, totally. Cool. No fun, Josh, says Shazam. Oh, DC! What is you doing? It's wild. How much coffee did you have? I've had 2 cups. You're not building Legos with your kids? What? No, I mean, if he really wants to, for sure, but I'm not into Legos. Veterans are dainty AF, right? Wait, what? I don't know what you're saying there, Flicky. I have no idea. Did you just have a seizure? I watched a podcast with Willow yesterday. Described the combat like kids in North Carolina playing in their yard. Wow. There you go. I'm going to start from the beginning of the stream, y'all. Okay, peace out, bro. Yeah, Legos are too much like bricks, dude. I'm not into it. If DC ditches all the Snyderverse actors, it'd be hilarious if Marvel just hired them all. Yeah, for sure. But that's the thing is, like, I think Feige had that on his whiteboard. I think that was an idea. DC is so, like, dysfunctional that even Feige couldn't, like, time their shit out and plan it to take advantage of it. Like, they're so fucked up that they can't, like, he can't even properly counter program to them. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that wild? It's crazy. Like, it's so bad, dude. Screw bricks. Indeed. Cena as Shazam. That would have been great. Yo, Flicky, I don't know what you're on about, but this isn't a Call of Duty lobby. You're not on proximity chat, dude. Like, I don't know what your personal thing is, but I don't know, bro. You're looking stupid. I'm gonna time you out. I'm gonna put you in timeout. Just think about what you've done, man. Just think about what you've done. Let's see here. I think remaking some Justice League / JLA Unlimited episodes into good live action movies would be dope. I agree with you. Honestly, Affleck, Cavill, Gal, and even fucking Martian Manhunter's actors didn't want to be characters without Snyder. Fair. Thoughts on the Bad Batch trailer? It was incredible. Did you notice that there was Palpatine in the Senate? Tony Gilroy's like, we're chasing the audience. Yeah, because you don't like Star Wars. You don't know Star Wars. We're chasing the audience. Yeah, right out of the fucking living room because they don't want to watch your shit. Ah, man, I'm on one today. Let's go. Josh, aren't you tired of Batman? Am I tired of one of the greatest characters ever created by a human being? Who has been around for 75 plus years? No, I am not. They're chasing the audience because we're running. Yeah, exactly. The Bad Batch trailer made me tear up. Literally, Omega, so goddamn cute. She's growing up so fast. She is growing up so fast. How pumped am I for the Marvels? Not at all. I'm like desperately looking for some stuff to get excited about for the Marvels. I mean, I've heard that there's an incursion there and it might like tie into the wider multiversal stuff. That's cool. But Carol married a guy on a planet where they communicate by song. And there's going to be this weird musical part of the, like, I'm like desperate for something within the Marvels that could get me excited. Like a what? 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 The Batman was good. It's for sure getting a sequel. Oh, okay. Okay, right on. Marvels could shock us all. That's true. You still going strong? Josh is a beast. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I honestly don't think I'll watch it if it's like that, right? Yeah, it's serious, Jay. That's real talk. What about Miss Marvel being a mutant? It's fine. You know, it's fine. Isn't The Joker 2 supposed to be a musical? Yeah, it is. Yeah. So the problem with the Marvels is Captain Marvel and not Miss Marvel or Rambeau. I mean, look, I like Rambeau a lot. The problem with the Marvels is multifaceted. Number one, yeah, Carol's like a weird character. And they're going a weird direction with her. I think they should have just embraced that she is kind of a bitch. And instead they're like trying to make her more likable or whatever. I don't know. They're going to try to reinvent her image. So that's part of it. The other part of it is, from what I've heard, they're going to take that approach. They're going to take the She-Hulk approach of like playing into the trolls and trying to like own the trolls in the movie. And I think that's I think that's such a brain dead strategy. Like doing stuff to trigger fanboys and then making fun of fanboys for being triggered. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of people aren't going to like your shit. So I hate that attitude. I hate that strategy. And on top of that, it's got musical elements in it. Like, somebody help me out here. Like, what is this movie? You know? Crazy. You can introduce Nova during the Marvels. True. Yeah. True. Josh, do you react to Film Theory's Ant-Man will die theory? Ah, shit. Maybe on Tuesday. Come here, Josh. Bring it in. Okay, right on, man. Thanks for the hug. Thanks for the hug. I'm going to probably get out of here soon, guys. I really appreciate all the love, all the support. I felt like this was a fun stream, a lot of conversations. I know it's like snarky and all of that, but we are kind of in a crazy spot, man. Batman Beyond movie with Pattinson as prequel. Doubt it. Doubt it. Do you think the MCU will cancel someone useless projects like Agatha? I don't know. I hope. I wish. Yeah, I wish. But we'll see. A lot of questions about how that's all going to go down. Josh, I wanted to ask you, with my first video out, I need a profile picture. Where did you make yours? Man, the Nerdvengers logo was just something like we whipped up pretty quick, and then I believe Nerdvenger Adam helped us with the more clean logo design. You know what I mean? Maybe there will be another silly play and LARPing in the Marvels. Oh, can't wait. Agatha is not useless. It's going to be great. It could be great and also useless. Maybe this is all on purpose, considering the finale of the Infinity Saga was coincidentally identical to Zack Snyder's plan for the Justice League trilogy. Man, that is some... I don't even know what kind of... I mean, that's like conspiracies and conspiracies, man. Holy shit. That's crazy. Can you make some more merch? Probably not, bro. Probably not. All right, everybody. Much love to you all today. I just had some shit to say. Bye-bye. Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, Dwayne Johnson. See you later. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh, man. Another day. Another story, another adventure here in Nerdvengers Tower. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thanks for sharing your take as well, you know. Shout out to Flicky for being butthurt on some bullshit that I don't even understand. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of feeling myself. I don't even know why. Time is a flat circle and Dwayne Johnson's a walking billboard. Take care of yourself out there. Drink some water. Open up your third eye. Wash out that stinky, stinky butthole. Tell somebody you love them. I'm out.